Okay, so just to sort of wrap things up and just say another couple things about 127 hours. If you guys ever want to check out what the actual route was that was on, it's called I think Blue John Canyon. You can just Google it and find a whole bunch of information, much of which will be about that route. It's not really particularly difficult. It's got like a little sort of sketchy-ish down climb. Um, but the like I said, it's like a 3A2 or 3A3, or in high water flow that it could be 3B2 or 3B3, which is similar to San Antonio up at Baldy, which although obviously it's very, very different um, in terms of the challenges that are involved in that canyon. But again, the canyon itself isn't like super crazy. My main problem when people are like, "Oh, that guy's like a super awesome canyoneer," he's an awesome survivalist. Like, there's no disputing that. Um, but the main thing with canyoneering is, again, you always want to have multiple people, as is evidence in the fantastic, you know, injury scenario provided by my kids. If somebody gets hurt, you want to have somebody who can stay with that person. You want to have somebody else who can get help. Um, if you have uh, if you have a scenario in which someone is going by themselves, that's especially dangerous in a sport called canyoneering, because even though that wasn't a particularly technical canyon, if you're in a technical canyon, there's the chance of anchor failure, right? If you build a Cairn anchor or a thank you, if you build a Cairn anchor or a dead man's anchor or whatever other anchoring system that, or you're anchoring off like a tree or a crappy bolt or whatever, you want to be able to back that anchor up to something else. If you can't back that anchor up to something else, then you're just assuming that your anchor will automatically work. If you have a backup, then hypothetically speaking, that anchor could fail, which you obviously don't want it to, but that anchor could fail when the first person is going down and the backup will get engaged. If you're going by yourself, you have to sort of skip all of that and just assume everything will work. Um, and so, like I said, it's just not. I'm like a boring person who's like super against free soloing and climbing. I can't remember if I told in class the story of when I hung out with Alex Honnold for a while after he did a slideshow at this thing in Orange County that Hanger sponsored a while ago. But I will get to that at some later point when we cover that. But I'm anti free soloing also, just because essentially life is filled with wonderful adventures and interpersonal connections, sometimes via you know Skype or whatever. But it's just like you should never risk every good thing that ever happens to you and like your kids and all of your kids' kids and your entire bloodline. You should never put that at risk for recreation, where it's like, oh, there's a super high chance that I could die with this. It would be super easily mitigated by telling someone where I'm going or going with a friend or whatever else. Just because it's just not worth it in my personal estimation. But take that with a grain of salt. So, the thing that we're going to be looking at next week is you guys should check out a movie called Dawn Wall. I'll posted the details on that in the email I sent out to everybody. But it's awesome. It's got one of like I through running climbing gyms for a really long time, I got to a point where I didn't really um, have as high of an opinion on climbing celebrities as many people do. But one person who I have like just immense respect for is Tommy Caldwell, who is like an unbelievable climber. And although I've never met the guy, from everything that I've ever heard from people who hang out with him, he's just like a really good, smart guy. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. Like he doesn't do dumb things. He's just a super good climber, and he goes on all these crazy adventures and does these really amazing things, including the hardest multi-pitch climb in the world. So, um, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy that. I definitely did, and look forward to having an opportunity to watch again as I continue to quarantine in my house. Yay! Um, hopefully you guys liked this thing, this series of videos. I'll do my best to make this more interesting than just me going on like a half-hour long diatribe about, you know, hating some random aspect of the outdoors community. So, So cheers. I hope all you guys are doing well and staying safe, and see you guys next week.